You know, I like that they would explore something that was a little, I don't even want to say out of the ordinary. Maybe for Japan, sure. To me, it shouldn't be a big deal. I think that's what bothers me, is that people that, worry about, like, is this okay, is this not okay? It should never be a big deal. Love is hard enough to find as it is, It's nobody else's right to say what's right or what's wrong. That's, if I get upset about something, it's definitely nobody's business to tell people, you're doing something wrong, you're doing it. No, if you don't like it, look away. Mind your own, Just, I wish people would be nicer to each other, We don't have that much time. Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how to phrase this, so I'm going to try it. But, with voice acting and gaming, as with a lot of other industries around the world, but especially in the West, it was kind of male-dominated for a long time.
Sure.
And in some ways, it probably still is. Do you think women who are voice actors or whatever, do you think they kind of have to go into it with a bit of a harder shell, like a bit more toughness, because they know that they're kind of at a disadvantage? And if so, how do you deal with that?
Well, I think to be an actor in general, you have to have a hard shell.
Yeah.
My God, you're dealing with rejection most of the time. And I think as women, sure, just for sheer numbers, which is not to say you go in there and you be a tough bitch and you tell them one form. It's not about that. I've found that being nice usually gets you more what you want. And not fake nice, like just be nice and be gracious and be on time and be polite and listen to what they say. I've had moments. I'm like, I must be out of my fucking mind to be doing this job. And I hope that's okay, because I swear sometimes.
You're good.
That's how I was raised. Good parenting. But yeah, you have to have a tough shell anyway. Performance, it's one of those weird things where you kind of have to have this healthy mixture almost of narcissism and humility. And by narcissism, I don't mean to walk in there going, I'm the greatest thing ever, love me. But you have to have confidence. You have to believe in what you're doing, otherwise you have no business being here. You have to be authentic and know that, trust your choices. I think in general, just depending on what it's for, yeah, there are fewer roles for women. But I'm always happy for somebody, if they get a role that like we're competing for. If a friend of mine gets it, I'm thrilled. Because like at least, somebody good got it. Because, we're all trying to do this together. Unfortunately, I don't think everybody's always as supportive of each other as they could or should be. I have this really overinflated sense of justice in the world. Sometimes I think I'm a little too that's not fair. Well, because life isn't fair. But I believe that there should be and is enough work for everybody, but it doesn't always work that way. Casting directors like to work with people they've worked with before because it's easier. So that kind of that happens a lot. But sometimes people give you a chance, and because Square Enix gave me a chance. They didn't know who the hell I was. People thought I was Claudia Black until I was able to announce that, which is so cool. It's a huge compliment. But because I've worked on certain things, and then you get to know other people, and then they have like, oh yeah, we've heard that word. When I had become a sort of, that's why you should go to networking things sometimes, because you never know who you're going to meet. I made friends with one of the writers over at Blizzard, and for a couple of years he fought to get me into something, and not just hand it to me, but make sure that I at least had more of an opportunity. And now I've gotten to work with pt2, who is amazing, who's done tons of work after other games, and we're working on StarCraft 2, and it's phenomenal. And I get to play a Protoss, and I don't think she's a queen, but she is some sort of authority figure. And you guys know who Patrick Seitz is?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's one of my really good friends too, so I get to be in this game with him, and I get to play off his lines, and it's awesome, and we get to plot together. So that, it's those moments that bring me joy. How do I deal with that? Sometimes I'm not gonna lie and say that I haven't had some tantrums by myself. Sure, you have hard days doing this, but it's the best job that I've ever had. So I have to accept that there's gonna be shitty days, and that most of the time it's great. Because you guys, I've worked in retail, I've worked in hospitality, I've worked in food service, I've worked in technology, I've worked in administrative. I don't like it. I don't ever want to answer somebody else's phone again, if I can possibly help it. Unless it's somebody's cell phone and, you know, they just can't answer it. But yeah, I just, a lot of it is, you kind of have to separate yourself from the emotional part of it. And just say, you know, this is a job like anything else, and I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love it. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Oh, did you have one more thing?
No, I just thank you.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. Yes.